Wiring an underground irrigation valve for a lawn sprinkler system, solving the conundrum of the two-wire system on the solenoid. So the solenoid may be low voltage. So when one actually plugs in the little plug-in thing at the box, whether that be in the garage, whether that be outside or whatnot, into the 110, I'm thinking somewhere it may step it down to around 24 volts, 18, 24 volts, somewhere thereabouts. But when one takes a look at the valve, as one can see, there's an inlet side and an exit side. And by the way, just a side note here, takeaway, be sure to put this in the correct arrow, because if you flip-flop it and it goes in the wrong direction, it may not work well. And so don't ask me how I know. LOL. But the two-wire system on the solenoid, okay. Now, what are the two wires? We're going to define the two wires. So say, for instance, one had a multi-stranded wire with, in case, say, 5, 6, 8 wires in one wire, and say inside of an insulation for the electrical. Okay, at this particular point, okay, normally the common white is used as the common, is standard practice in irrigation. And I'm not certain that this really matters, but it's good to keep uniformity when doing an install, because if you get off track and then do it another way. Now, heating and air conditioning, oftentimes the blue is considered the common, but forget heating and air conditioning at this point. This is for your lawn irrigation system. So if we have a white, blue, red, green, the white would be the common, and the other wires would be the other used wires would be your hots. So now let's keep in mind, the common needs to connect to every valve. So it's common. So just put your hand out and say, okay, your fingers there are just hypothetically a fictitious analogy, are your wires, and your hand is common. So your hand is common to all those wires. So it may be difficult for your fingers to work without your hand. That is the palm or the back of your hand. I'm sure people can get creative, but notwithstanding, but this is just an analogy. So the common wire needs to connect to each valve. So if we have 3 valves, we connect the common to all 3 valves. If we have 2 valves, we connect the common to 2 valves. If we have 1 valve, a one-zone system, we connect the common to that particular valve. So if we have a three-zone system, we're going to have 3 valves. If we have a 2-zone system, we're going to have 2. If we have a 5-zone system, we're going to have 5 valves. 1 valve for each particular zone, generally speaking. So that being said, the common needs to connect to every valve. Now your hot is independent, so your hot connects to your other wire. Say if we were going, I like to just use RGB, and when I go from zone 1, 2, 3, R being red, G sort of like just for in mnemonics, RGB, and then use the R, say if a hot for zone 1. Now that's irrelevant what color you use. Now one other side note here, so a quick takeaway here. It does not matter if you flip-flop them, if you put the common on this wire and the hot on this wire, or vice versa, as long as the common's connected to each particular valve. And now, if you do not have the common connected to each particular valve, then this may spell trouble. So your hot, say if you had 3 hot wires, you would use 1 common. So the white wire would, say, hypothetically be connected here. the red wire here. Zone 2 may be RG, maybe say the white wire here, the green wire here. B, the next zone, if we had a 3-zone system, the white wire here, and the blue wire here. Now, if we got them crossed up, I think you're okay. So maybe the irrigation experts can add to the comments, but I think it's irrelevant which way. But you do need a common to each particular valve, and notwithstanding, and generally speaking, the white is your common. So let's recap. A white wire, which is the common wire in irrigation, if you're using a multi-stranded wire encased in one, the white wire, generally speaking, is your common. Common needs to be connected to every valve. Your hot, say you would say red here on the next one. You would not put the same color on each valve. So if you had red, green, blue left over, you would put red on one. That would be a hot. G on another one, green on another one. That would be your hot. So you would have white, red, white, G, white, blue. And this is how to wire a irrigation solenoid up for an irrigation control valve. So again, for each particular zone, we have a valve for each particular zone, generally speaking. Thank you for watching. Hope this helps. And if you find any of these videos useful, please like, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful day.